Hi, this is my reflective commentary on writing instruction. First, I have learned so much in this course. Um, a lot of things that I cannot wait to implement in the next school year. I always knew the importance of incorporating writing in the classroom, but I really struggled with it when I taught kindergarten last year because I was so hyper focused on making sure my students knew their letter names and letter sounds. But now I am well equipped with strategies on how I can uh, further their writing development. So, what I learned about writing, to include it in everyday instruction, whether that is free write or teaching how to write an informative piece. Obviously, free write would take less time than teaching how to write an informative piece. I learned that, you know, including writing instruction does not have to be 45 minutes to an hour. It can be 15 minutes of the school day. But if you include it every day, that's what's important. In Dr. Hodge's Module 2 video, she mentions it is best to assume students' developmental writing stages based on their writing rather than by their age and grade. I feel like uh, last school year, as my first year of teaching, I was really looking at assessing their writing based on their age and grade, not so much on where they were supposed to be, where they're at developmentally. And now I understand that that's how I should support their writing, looking at where they are developmentally in their writing skills. What I learned about writing instructions. So here I have included a chart that I made earlier for this course. I learned to make small group time to strengthen students' handwriting and grammar. I always made sure small group time was for learning letters and sounds and reading. I did not make small group time for grammar. And now I understand the importance of that because that is supporting students. That's a part of supporting students' writing. Display students' daily writing in the room. Hold a discussion time where we talk about our personal writing pieces. This is to excite students. I put their writing up in the classroom, but we didn't talk about the writing that went up in the classroom. I want to do that next year. I want to put more of their work up in the classroom. I feel like that will motivate them to write. And to incorporate writing in centers, once there's more writing instruction, I think it'll be easier to incorporate writing centers, and that will cause less stress for my students and less stress for me. What I learned about writing strategies, I got this information from Bring Powerful Writing Strategies into Your Classroom. Include self-instruction sheets to support self-regulation. I do something very similar to this in the case study. Lesson plans. I included like a checklist for my student to check off whether she um, did all the different stages or met all the different components before saying, "Hey, I'm finished with my writing." She could look at that sheet and see if she indeed did do every part. Ensure students memorize the stages of writing. This can be done with mnemonics and just repetition. Before writing, address students' attitudes and beliefs on writing. Discuss whether their views can support or hinder their writing. Discussion is very important um, in strengthening students' writing. What I learned about writing assessments. I got this from my favorite article from the assessment modules. Designing assessments, a multi-literacy approach. Incorporate project assessment for in-depth learning tasks. I feel like project assessments are a great way to assess writing. For example, take like a history lesson. You read a story about a specific historic era. Then the students research that historic era. They have to type what they're going to research into Google and research it. Then they write notes about what they learned about that era. Then they write a writing piece about that historic era. Just a great way to assess writing and using writing. The core to a good assessment of students' understanding is through my observation of their writing. From there, I can better understand what steps need to be taken to better support my students. So, what I learned about student achievement, this is an example of the student's formative assessment writing piece in the case study. Her work showed me some strengths and it showed me some things that needed to be strengthened. And how I strengthen her writing and how I will strengthen my future students' writing is scaffold the writing process. For instance, I need to show them how my thinking process, my show them my thinking process when I write and the errors I make when I write so that they understand that it's just that thinking and errors are just all part of the process of writing. And one-on-one discussions about how to strengthen their writing. So yeah, thank you.